crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. While I'm going on about my child support stuff and how all this stuff actually plays out in the real world and what really takes place in the real world and how us good men keep getting bad names because, well, what takes place in the real world. I talked about how I was putting child support arrearages with wrongful numbers, falsified numbers, provable coercion with the numbers, all which buried me. My last videos here, just these past few days, I've talked about how my first wife, that's what that was all about, and how I was immediately thrown into child support arrearages and built. What I didn't talk about is how in order to actually beat what I have so far with that, because nobody would give me a job when you've been beaten, tortured, and you're legally blind, and spine damage and nerve damage, and you can't stand up on your own, and you urinate yourself, and you soil yourself. It's pretty hard to get a job. But I still had to try to live, and I've made it this long, doing it on my own. There are people who want to claim they did it. Baloney. Provable baloney. Again, my cases are provable. So, what took place in the second divorce that was also wrong beyond the $14,000 a year after the divorce is finalized at the snap of a finger? What else took place there? Let's see. If you go back through the beginning of the court documents, she claims she made $125,000 a year, which is what she started at in her job before she left. And more than a year before our divorce. There's a couple of things I really want to talk about with that. I mean, you want it the easiest, most, I can't even believe the job that, oh my God, it's unbelievable what you can get paid to do nothing. Holy cow. Punch in at 8:15, even though you're supposed to be at work at 8, but it doesn't matter if you're 15 minutes late. I've never had a job like that, but this one is. And you don't have a meeting till 1:30, even though you've got a workload you're supposed to take care of until then, and you don't want to deal with it, stay on the clock because it's a computer and they can't tell, and you go to the beach for 4 hours. Come back and make sure you punch out in time for lunch. I'm telling you what, it's unbelievable. And I can't say that about this current job that she's in, but the one she had before that, making $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. Oh my God, unbelievable. Okay, so back to the story. I'm sorry. I'm truly, if I would have known what I know now, what I've learned over the past 30 years of my life, God, I slap myself in the face and want to teach my kids better than what I did to myself. Hopefully I can teach you some of that too. When you do have meetings, so much of those meetings is, how's your day? Hey, sun's shining here. What's it like over there? Hey, what's happening in politics? Hey, what's happening in the news? What's happening in your life? Oh, I heard a chicken. Oh, let's talk about chickens for the next 45 minutes. Unbelievable. Back to the story again. I'm sorry. So let's even go back to my second divorce. She claimed throughout that she was making $125,000 a year up until the divorce became finalized and it came time to fill out the child support payment papers. Not only did she falsify the visitation dates on those papers, which they just took, and I've been asking the court, like, can she do this? But she also falsified her wage, which now all of a sudden dropped by $45,000 a year. How did that change? It's still the same job. I know I've lived in a backwards world my whole life. Maybe she finally got that job that works backwards. You don't get raises, you get demotions. I don't know. But I do know that when she filed for a divorce and claimed in the court documents she was making $125,000 a year, and the court can't figure out that she did that at $80,000 later, and then on the court child support documents only $80,000, but continued to say she made $125,000, and the court can't figure none of that out, and I bring it to their attention and they still don't want to hear it. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Do you guys see what actually takes place? I mean, this is all completely 110% ironclad, provable Again, court documents and IRS records don't lie. They can, but those are on, that's the records. Those are the numbers on those records that are don't mean anything, because even though they're the actual evidence, the only thing that matters, again, is titles and paychecks.